The development cannot be driven by property market. It shouldn't be a commodity. But our market or the Iskandar Malaysia or the government see property as a commodity. It's a property threat that make our local people suffer. Even the government-linked company invest in the property market, become one of the developers that build a lot of higher price properties. So we see the insufficient numbers of lower price house. From May 2013 to May 2014, we have only 2,150 units available, affordable housing in the market. It's far from enough. These 2,150 units are for statewide. It's not only concentrated in Iskandar Malaysia, but also built in Muar, in Kulai, in Batu Pahat. So how can be 2,000 units satisfied everyone? No. So government is actually planning to build another 11,600 in 4-year span. That means about 2,000 to 3,000 a year. But let's see, in 2014, 1 year alone, we have already had 7,830 unit houses. Those high-rise condominium or expensive landed properties is not balanced at all.
We are such a country that seems quite dependent on property development as a contributor towards our foreign exchange earnings. Every growth corridor seems to be a property play, and Iskandar and Johor isn't an exception. Some developments in Iskandar are totally geared for foreign buyers, investors and speculators, name them what you will. But most times, this lobbying for foreign money instead of attracting real investments in business and manufacturing, for instance, balloons up the demand for properties, especially when we have rich neighbours just down south. Which may not be so good for locals who have found it increasingly difficult to afford new houses in Iskandar, Malaysia. So the government stepped in last year to dampen foreign demand for houses, putting in place new regulations, like increasing the floor limit to 1 million ringgit. And this seems to have worked against Singaporean investors, as Wong Shu Qi reveals.
It is effective to a certain extent, especially on Singaporean buyers. So we see the downturn about 20% from 5,335 units of properties bought by Singaporean buyers in 2013 to this year. To last year, 2014, only 4,314 units were purchased by Singaporean buyers.
But at the same time, a spate of JVs with China developers almost guarantees that these resultant properties will have foreign ownership.
But it is not effective on other buyers, especially from China. The Singaporean buyer, they can cross over the strait and come to stay here. But how often the Chinese buyer would come to stay in Johor Bahru? How often they would come like the Singaporean buyer? Singaporeans just need to drive or even take a bus, cross over the causeway or second lane, and straight away they will enjoy their holiday house, a holiday villa in Iskandar, Malaysia. But how about China buyer? How frequent they would fly into Senai airport and then occupy their houses here, or they want to rent it out. And when we have so many empty houses in Iskandar, Malaysia, what impact would be for the rental market and also for the second-hand market? The surge of China buyers is a certain one. From 436 in 2013, increased by 477% to 2,078 units in 2014. That is a huge jump, a big jump, just in a year. So it means something, and it actually signals that something happened. Why would they suddenly buy so many houses here, or just for speculation?
It is not likely that the government, both state and federal, would put a brake on JVs and building properties for the foreign rich.
Definitely, we have to do something to put a stop on the unusual development within Iskandar, Malaysia, because it's going to have an impact nationally, not only regionally. And we have to look into the issues. Are there serious buyers? And do they bringing other investments to Iskandar, Malaysia? If not, we should put a hold or put a stop on the property developments in Iskandar, Malaysia before we attract enough foreign direct investment.